Hi, we're here with Spencer, who is our Beetle and Grimm's chief puzzler at the moment, and specifically the guy who's working on both the story and the puzzles for our Star Trek escape room, Mary Celeste. Why don't you start out by telling us how one gets into being a puzzler?
Yeah, just always liked solving puzzles as well as making puzzles. For whatever reason. I remember I think I was like 10 years old, made a little puzzle scavenger hunt for my younger sister's birthday party. And then any video game that's had any map editor whatsoever, I just make puzzles in it. Wound up getting mixed up in the crazy world of escape rooms. Designed and owned multiple escape rooms, plural even. Um, but I've since transitioned into designing tabletop experiences. Got one big claim to fame now, which is a game called Lost in the Shuffle, which is a puzzle game that takes place in a deck of cards. Fortunately, it's been very well received and has emboldened me to continue down this road.
For better or for worse, you are now
Yep,
on the path.
that's right.
How do you come up with puzzles?
Um, the for me, my style, I think, is I first will think of like what is the setting that the game's going to take place in, as well as what are the constraints that of the medium. If this is a board game, the constraints are the components, or in some cases, you have a very fun AR app to be able to utilize to flex a little bit more possibilities. You'll also have a narrative in mind, either figuring it out at the same time as what your constraints are from the medium and the components. I think sort of both happen. If both happen at the same time, I think that's what makes the strongest experience. Knowing ahead of time that we would be able to have this AR app and do, fun, slick overlays over the top of components and stuff adds to what moments can that create that, affect the narrative or serve it.
I can never figure out how you guys do this. So when you come up with a puzzle, how do you gauge difficulty when you're setting these things up?
Yeah, getting the difficulty right. I would say that's the trickiest part. It's the trickiest part for having a puzzle actually be fun. Is you need the difficulty to be enough of a challenge so that when you get it, it is rewarding and exciting. I mean, it starts off just as like intuition, like I think this is challenging and solvable, and then you play test it and realize how wrong you were. And then you see, where all the hangups were. Do I need to add some clues? Do I need to take away some information that's being distracting? I like to try and identify a detail that's easily overlooked, and then make that be the eventual thing you need to arrive at. So
Right.
finding that balance is the trick, but it is I don't. That's less of a talent and more of a skill of just doing some play testing and seeing, troubleshooting what needs to change to help it smooth it out.
That's how you make a puzzle that's not too hard or not too easy. But what makes a really fun puzzle? What are you going for when you're
Oh
doing
yes,
puzzles?
excellent question. The If you're asking me, the whole fun of any puzzle is the aha moment. It is you've got all the clues laid before you. You're staring at it, and then all of a sudden it clicks in your head. You get that aha, like, oh wow, what if it's this? And then you get very excited and you test out if your theory is correct, and it proves correct, and you feel very smart and clever. And that's what it's all about. So, yeah, you definitely, well, I say definitely, but you try not to have too many hidden clues, so the players have all the information. You want to be fair about that. You don't want to be like, oh, there's a big secret thing over here in a spot you never would have looked at or considered, and because you didn't, you never would have solved this puzzle, and you've been wasting your time poring over 80% of the clues. So you're hoping to avoid that. Be fair, give everybody all the clues, but still have it be enough of a sort of a sneaky or crafty mechanic that involves some puzzling, some deduction. And then once the method is deduced, you want it to be a very quick confirmation, very quick feedback for the players to yes, this is right. So you don't want to have too lengthy of a process, to actually figure out if they're right or not. And yeah, again, that's speaking generically, but that's I don't know, that's the recipe. Clear clues, a fun aha that you don't see right away, but once you do, you know it because it's clever and it just feels right. And then a quick confirmation. That's the recipe right there.
Yeah, it seems to me like when I've played escape rooms or escape boxes, it's always been in a group, and there'll always be, one person who something is immediately obvious to them for one puzzle, and then they're completely lost on the next puzzle, and it's somebody else who has to step in. Um, how do you create something where multiple so every puzzle isn't just sort of the same thought process? And
Yeah. You just try to have a variety, right? So oftentimes that will come from, making puzzles that make sense within the sort of confines or the universe that you've established. So if you have a puzzle of, hypothetically, let's say you needed to translate an alien language, and you do that one time, it's, that's done. You shouldn't have to continually translate that alien language. And so you'll have to, come up with something else, some other puzzle or mechanic that makes use of the setting, things that make sense in the theme. And because once you've done a puzzle with those, aspects, you don't want to use those same aspects. So inherently you won't wind up making the same sort of puzzle. Which is good, because like you say, there's different players will have different strengths, different things they're inclined to. So it is good to have that variety. So if you are playing with a group, everyone gets, hopefully something that they get to sink their teeth into. That is more their bag.
well, you're talking about environments and how they, fold into the puzzle. So what's this environment of Star Trek? What's cool about that?
It's exploring the unknown, right? It's so fun. That's the whole, well, for me, that's the big appeal of the whole show. That's part of what puzzle solving is all about, figuring out something that was unknown or unexpected. It's you get to explore a setting that's totally alien, but you're doing it in an established way, right? Like, Starfleet has, protocols. You've got a team. You're following orders, but doing so to explore something fun and alien and mysterious. And that's, I think, such the cool combo.
Yeah, that was always when I was a kid. That was always what I loved about it. It's like you said, you're exploring something new every week, and they're always coming at it with a wonder and a curiosity.
Big
And
time.
it's not how do we conquer this or how do we beat
Exactly.
this?
Yes.
It's what is this? What makes this thing? Why is it interesting to us? And that's what I always loved about that show. Do you have anything in store for the Kickstarter?
Yes. I've got some fun puzzles planned. Just I don't know, keep people engaged. Give them a little taste of dopamine that comes from solving a puzzle. I'm hoping that they'll be a little bit on the easier side. When you get the game, you're meant to have, take some time solving these puzzles. There's no time limit. You've got, note-taking apparatuses nearby. So the puzzles that come out during the campaign, I'm hoping you'll be able to do them all in your head without too much strain. But still, hopefully a little bit of a fun aha is what we'll go for there.
All right. Any last thoughts before we check out here?
Thanks to everybody for checking out the campaign. I really hope you back it. I think you really like these puzzles.
All right. Thanks, Spencer.
All right, thanks.